This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome everyone to the Blood Cancer Support Group. This is by AnCan and in conjunction with Kicking Cancer in Heels. I'm Michele Nadeem-Baker. Hi everyone, welcome. And let's go around and see this evening who needs some time. So I am in Boston, I have CLL, and I would love to have some time this evening, but not too much time. Sally.
I am Sally Torgeson. I'm in Indianapolis, right outside of Indianapolis, and I have multiple myeloma. And I don't need any time because I'm doing well. And I'm leaving for Italy in a week.
Oh, we're all coming with you. It's a big surprise. We were going to wait until the end, but now you know.
That's a great birthday present. So thank you.
Okay, Judy.
Judy Williams. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Frisco, and I'd like a little bit of time to tell you about my new medication.
Looking forward to it. Let's just go around. Oh, Al.
Hello, I'm Al Ruvalcava down in Arizona, and I was diagnosed with polycythemia vera in 2020. And I'm good. I'll sit in and bring things up as we go along.
Thanks, Al. Sherry.
Me? I'm Jerry Fertig. I live in the Metro Detroit area. I have AML. Had it, relapsed after about 12 months, and then underwent it again and did a stem cell transplant. But I'm good, so I don't need any time.
If you're in Detroit, I need to know what to do for 6.5 hours on a layover in Detroit next week.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll have a little chat about that. Mary.
Go to the Motown Museum.
I'm Mary Pearson. I'm near Lansing, Michigan, and I'll take a minute or two.
Do you need time tonight?
Yes.
Okay. I know everyone's screen is different. Okay, Bärbel.
Bärbel Sullivan-Stutz. I'm from Geislingen, which is in Germany. I need a little time because I still have skin issues and from that COVID. It's just really crazy.
I'd love to hear about that. Okay. Mary Lou.
Yes, hi, I'm Mary Lou. I have MDS. I'm from West Springfield, Massachusetts, and I don't need time because I'm still in limbo land. Nothing's happening, no treatment yet. I'm going to be getting chemo eventually, locally. And then I will be going to Dana-Farber to have a stem cell transplant.
Jim.
Yes, this is Jim Marshall. I am here for my sister that has, I believe, MM, and I'm also here for myself. I've got metastatic prostate cancer, but then, and with lymph nodes, in the VA, surprisingly, happens to call that non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, believe it or not. So, and I do need a little bit of time.
Okay, Jim. Does anyone else hear an interesting sound? Okay.
I'm still here, and I can probably summarize what's going on in about a minute or two. And small lymphocytic lymphoma, diagnosed in 2013, otherwise known as SLL, CLL's kissing cousin.
That's right. Okay. And you'll see from time to time Rick Davis, founder of AnCan, and Alexa Jett, who holds us all together from AnCan, pop in and out. Hey, Rick.
Hi, everybody.
Need any time this evening?
No, I will be popping out shortly to a group that I attend as a participant, which is a good group that I need. So I wish everybody well, but I
And
have to see.
also, Rick, there's another meeting of this group if any of the other gentlemen would like to go to it if they come to this meeting.
Yes. Yes, it's the Men Speaking Freely group, and it meets on the first and third Thursdays. So if any of you gents would like to, I think Jerry's been to that group on the third Thursday. It's a really good group. It's to talk about everything and anything except treatment. We don't talk about treatment, but we talk about anything else that's on your mind. And Miss Alexa is in the process of starting a similar group for the ladies. Is
Yes,
that true, Miss
time.
Alexa?
yes. And there is a big surprise.
And there's a big surprise. And I don't know what it is, but
Who
I
doesn't?
have ultimate faith in Miss Alexa. So very soon we'll be seeing the equivalent for the ladies. But I wish everybody
Good.
in this group very well.
All right. I love that. Can I just ask how many men are men open to speaking freely at these meetings? At the Men Speaking Freely meetings? Jerry, do many speak? Or does it take a while for everyone to start chatting?
It's pretty open, actually. A lot of the guys and everything have been going through this a while, and so it's kind of dealing with real life events versus, you know, versus like treatment and things like that. People really don't go in. We don't go into that.
Love it.
We get around 20 guys a meeting, between 15 and 20 guys every meeting. The group's open to any gent with a chronic illness, so it's not just cancer. And so please feel free to refer anybody. And no, we don't, there are a few slow starters in the group, but we have excellent moderators, and we usually don't have any problem talking. Now, I should defer to Alexa because that's a more independent view, and we made a one-time exception with the permission of the gents to allow Alexa to attend because she was trying to figure out how best to put together a similar group for the ladies. And Alexa, what would you say about, did the guys have a problem speaking?
No, it was really incredible. It's a little bit different than some of our other support groups. The environment, the way that the moderators created it, they created a space where guys felt really comfortable in sharing and talking about really heavy and difficult topics and made it seem not so difficult. And I was really impressed, and I walked away from that feeling just amazing and grateful that a group like that exists. So that was just incredible.
When do they
I
meet?
think that a group like that for women, you're going to get 100.
Yeah.
And they're all going to talk at once.
4 hours.
We're gonna have to use the excuse button. End meeting for all.
All right. Back to you, Michelle, to get this group up and running.
I am so happy to hear about these two different groups. All right, so let's, people who needed some time, Judy, I know you started a new treatment for CLL that a lot of us I know out there have heard of. It's pirtobrutinib. Is that correct?
Yes.
Love to hear about it.
I started it on the 29th of March. Oh, no, January. So I've been on it roughly 5 weeks. And within the first week, my lymph nodes went to pea size, and now they're pretty much gone. And I have had no side effects except for a little bit of constipation that's been manageable with Parallax I mean, right now, I mean, hopefully it will last a long time. I asked him how long I would be taking, and he said until it stopped working.
So, no, that's your only side effect?
hmm They sent me home with nausea medicine and diarrhea medicine, and I haven't touched them.
I love to hear that. And is there a ramp up or is it
No,
full
it's not a ramp up at all. And I was, they told me they had 4 other patients of theirs on this that have started. One, they said, was not doing well because they had a more aggressive CLL, but the other 3, they said, were doing well too on it. So I'm thrilled with, this is my 3rd line of treatment. So I think you have to have failed a couple of lines of treatment before they start giving it to you. And thankfully, my insurance has been wonderful. It retails for $21,000. What they charge, the insurance that comes through with Medicare is like $4,000 something, and I pay $48. And then after 2 months, I'll be in the catastrophic, and I shouldn't have to pay anything.
This is good news all around. Now, for those who are not familiar with what it is in the BTK inhibitor space, but it's non-covalent. Is that correct?
Correct. It's non-covalent, and I'm not sure exactly what. All I remember is they said something about being reversible. And, you know, I don't know exactly what that means completely.
So, so for people who have been on a covalent BTK inhibitor, and that's used for more than just CLL and SLL, it's used across various blood cancers and Waldenström's. So that is that would be ibrutinib, also Imbruvica, acalabrutinib, also known as Calquence, and zanubrutinib, which is Brukinza. Those are all in the original BTK inhibitor class that are covalent. If you can no longer take one of those, you can't take any in that class, but you can go on what Judy's on, the pirtobrutinib, which is the non-covalent. So how about your blood work, Judy? You're talking about your lymph nodes. How's your blood work looking at this point?
The blood work, the lymph nodes have, lymphocytes have been pretty elevated still, but he said that's kind of normal for that. I've had low hemoglobin in the 11s range pretty consistently even before I went on it. So it hasn't been a whole lot different, and my platelets have been going up and down on either side of 150, not really low, in the 140s up to, and then at one week it went to 160. I was taking, they had me do a blood test every week when I first started, and then because my blood work was not very far out of kilter last week, they let me skip this week, so I didn't get to have to go to the doctor this week. So
are they monitoring every
next week?
So every week, how long do you go every week? Or
that's what I said. They let me skip this week, and then I'll see them this next week, and then I'll see them the end of March, every 2 weeks, and then we'll probably go move a month, and then, you know, out to 3. But I have a blood test every month anyway, because I have a port that they have to flush. So they go on and take my blood every month. If I'm going to be stuck, they're going to take my blood and check it.
And what about your white blood count?
White blood count's been in the normal range. It was a little elevated before I started on it, but it's come down. It's in the mid range
of normal.
And Judy, what were the trigger points for starting treatment?
Mainly because I have had the Richters before that we've watched really close, and that my lymph nodes had been swollen. They started actually last year in January. And of course, then I was having so much trouble with my husband, especially the last part of the year, that I think at that point he really didn't want me to start anything new, unless it was a very dire circumstance, because, I was dealing with all of that. And of course, I was fatigued and really run down just with dealing with all I had to with my husband's and his subsequent death.
Yes.
I'm sorry I came in late, but Judy, what therapy are you starting now?
The Jaypirica, the pirtobrutinib.
I'm starting it on Monday.
I started it, I've been about 5.5 weeks, and it's wonderful. I mean, my gland's already down. I've had no side effects except for a little bit of constipation.
Wow, great.
There are 3 others in our clinic that have been on it, and they said that they haven't had any problems either.
Excellent. That's good to hear.
I'm so glad you joined us, Bill, tonight.
Thank you. I had to stop by the men's group first because I was there 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was really sick and had COVID, and I had my CLL was acting up, and so I had to go back and tell them, I survived. So then I came over here.
So where do you go?
Yeah,
Treatment?
I was on Calquence for 18 months or so, and then I went off it for some surgery, and then I started having abdominal pain, and it was lymphadenopathy. Fortunately, they ruled out some other stuff, and so I'm just about to start the Jaypirica, and
Where do you go for treatment?
Mount Sinai and Miami Beach. It's Dr. Barry Entos. And unfortunately, she was on personal leave for a month for family medical. So my treatment was delayed about a month. But I was real sick for the last couple of months, so I'm starting to feel better.
I'm sorry to hear that, Bill, that you've been sick. I have a question. So you went off your Calquence, and then when you went, did you go back on it and you started having, it wasn't working? Is that why you ended up with a?
Yeah, I went back on it when the doctor suggested I just take a medication vacation since I was off it for about a month for internal bleeding problems. And then I started having the abdominal pain. I had a couple of PET scans and everything, and I cut the Calquence in half. I was having a lot of diarrhea, and I'm sorry about that. So I went back on it, but it helped some, but not enough. And also, I was having a lot of diarrhea, and I thought maybe it was the Calquence. It never bothered me for 18 months, but something really ripping up my stomach. So right now my head is still clogged.
What's
COVID.
What flavor of CLL?
Oh, how so?
I have trisomy 12 or trisomy 12.
I got vanilla CLL. I don't know. I don't know any more than that, probably.
So, in other words, like 11Q or 17P, 13.
I think I never remember them, but I don't have anything bad. So, they didn't have to do the aggressive treatment right away and all that. But now I probably have some resistance to the acalabrutinib, and so they're trying something different.
So that, we were just talking about that before you joined us. I think that the beauty of the BTK inhibitors in the new class and noncovalent is you can take them if a BTK inhibitor like Calquence no longer works, the covalent
Right.
type. Now, Sally put some information about covalent versus non-covalent in the chat. Sally, there's also, though, a benefit. I don't know if you saw it when you look up the BTK inhibitors that are non-covalent. There is a benefit to the non-covalent, such as pirtobrutinib in it being non-covalent, like what Judy was saying. And the definition you have here almost makes it sound like the covalent is the benefit, the one that has the benefits.
Well, that's what this article says.
Is that about BTK inhibitors?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'll have to look it up.
This is the very first one that's the non-covalent.
And there are others in study right now. Yes, it's the first one that's been approved.
My doc actually wanted to put me into a clinical trial for one of the other ones. But I'm 4 hours from the hospital, and it's very difficult for me to travel anymore like that. And so and then I got real sick anyway, and I wasn't leaving the house for weeks. So I did decline the clinical trial for the new non-covalent.
That is quite a drive for you too. And if there's bad traffic or an accident.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that would not be.
That happened just 2 trips back. There was a fatal accident. We were on the road for 2.5 hours waiting for them to clear it.
Well, it's amazing, Judy, that you're on the first in that class, and I'm so delighted that you're doing well pretty much instantly, and also minimal side effect.
I've still had a little bit of fatigue, but not any more than I had before. So,
Did they say if that usually goes away because it's already been in trial?
I think it's, like everything else I tell you, instead of just giving into it, exercise. And so I've been trying to do that. I've swam for 45 minutes, laps twice last week and 45 minutes yesterday, laps. So
good for you. Do you do that? I would imagine this time of year where you live inside?
Oh yeah, we have an indoor pool, an Olympic-sized indoor pool right behind my house.
Very nice.
And then I walked 3 miles on Monday, so trying to.
That's great. Yeah, it sounds like Kenny Cap's the way he was trying to get us all to work out. That's very good.
Well, luckily, where I live is wonderful because we have an indoor track and the indoor pool.
And
well, I drove for 3 hours today. And then I turned around and drove 3 hours back home. Does that count for aerobic exercise?
Now,
aerobic.
Did you do this for yourself or for your wife? If it was for your wife, it counts as aerobic exercise. But was for you?
Yeah. Well, she was backseat driving, so she was getting some exercise too,
I rode for 2.5 hours today.
Lynn, you were moving your foot on the gas pedal and on the brake, so that counts.
No, I had the cruise control set. Cruise set, and I've got adaptive cruise, so it slows down automatically. But Judy, you walked 3 miles earlier this week, and you swam how many?
I swam for 45 minutes, which was 44 laps in the pool.
Wow.
I'm speechless.
I am too. I'm lucky if I can get through the big grocery store.
Well, thankfully, I usually have someone that goes with me, so that's a nice thing. I will tell you though, if you get to swim, you use a lot more calories because on my watch, when I walk the hour, I use about half or less calories than I do when I swim 45 minutes. So
Oh my goodness.
swimming is a better exercise.
Good for you, though. I'm impressed. When's your, do you have like big appointments? You know, your blood work every week and then a big appointment coming up, or is every week and other than that week? And okay.
Next Thursday, I have blood and see Dr. Awan. And then hopefully I'll be able to skip the week with blood and go. And then I'll just see the PA March.
I'm looking forward
Have
to
you been taking allopurinol since the start, or did you add it, or did you need it?
No, I didn't have to take allopurinol. I take a cyclovir all the time, and I take gabapentin all the time because I have neuropathy left over from chemotherapy.
Mhm.
I found that Cymbalta works better for me than gabapentin.
Isn't that more of is a Cymbalta, isn't that more like a,
The nerve regenerator.
okay.
That and alpha lipoic acid together.
Well, they told me to take folic acid and B12, and so I've added that in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it may be helping a little bit. I don't have bad neuropathy. It feels more like there's a sock on my foot all the time. I can still
I
have
have bad, but the alpha lipoic acid, if I stop it for a week, I really see the difference. So 600 milligrams of alpha lipoic acid twice a day, and it's really a lot better.
My wife was taking that also for neuropathy, and it's gotten better. You know, I wouldn't hang it completely on that.
You can
but
get it at Amazon, and it's right
Yeah.
over the counter and no side effects.
yeah, it was recommended to us by a podiatrist.
It was recommended to me by a diabetic nurse.
Yeah, and it seems something's working.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Leslie, welcome. We are going around for people who had said that they wanted some time to share, but I just wanted to say hello to you and welcome this evening.
Hi.
And Leslie, just so we know, I'm seeing is LMCL.
Yeah, they told me I have leukemic phase mantle cell lymphoma. My original diagnosis was CLL. I went for that for a year. They wanted me in November to start Calquence for the CLL. I wanted a second opinion, somebody that was a specialist in CLL to make sure that was the right thing to do. And the specialist knew from day one, before she ever did her tests, that I didn't have CLL. I have mantle cell, and it's a leukemic phase of mantle cell. And I got all the goodies with it. So the P53 mutation, the deletions, the chromosome rearrangements, that was why they thought it was maybe CLL to begin with. So it's a very rare type of mantle cell lymphoma, I was told. High risk. They don't even count me on the regular scale. They call it an MIPI scale. And I didn't even verify for that. It was just high risk.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. And that for all this time, they thought it was CLL.
Yeah, I went a year. And so I'm still going through the infantile stages of, being diagnosed, because I got re-diagnosed. And so it's pretty scary. I've met some wonderful, wonderful people online. The CLL sisters let me stay. I make a joke that I'm their stepsister now. But it's really been an eye opener. It's kind of hard when you get to be diagnosed twice,
And it's not that it was Richter's transformation. they believe this is what you've had.
He did not say anything about that at all. I just asked him and he said well, the first doctor at University, Southwestern in Dallas, the Simmons Comprehensive
Okay.
Cancer Center.
What doctor?
What's that?
What doctor you see there?
It was Dr. Yilmaz who I was seeing there, but I transferred to MD Anderson because I asked her, I said, have you treated anybody with these?
I don't know that you have at UT Southwestern, because that's where I go, and I have Dr. Awan
Yeah.
in hematology.
Right. Yeah, Dr. Yilmaz is she's supposedly, I was told she was a CLL specialist when I went to go there, but she isn't.
No.
She's actually a lymphoma doctor, which is good because she knew all right along. The first doctor at Texas Oncology only did one blood test, and that was the symmetry test and a scan, and that's all he did. He didn't do anything else. And just by that and looking at that, she knew right away that I had been misdiagnosed. So then when I asked her about if she had treated anybody with this before, she said no. And she determined that I'd be better off probably going to MD Anderson. So that's where I've gone.
CLL original.
I'm sorry?
Where were you diagnosed with CLL?
Texas Oncology.
Well, and did they are the ones who just did a flow cytometry and the scan?
Yes. Yeah, a CT and a flow cytometry. Yeah, that was the only thing he did. I think the fact that my dad died from complications of CLL, he just assumed that's what it was. And so I don't know.
And there's such
have you been to Anderson yet?
Yes, I have. My first appointment was February 13th, and I ran the whole gamut that week. They did everything in those 2 days. And now I'm on last Friday I did my first infusion of rituximab. And then every Friday for the next it's going to be Saturdays now. For the next 4 weeks, I'll do that. And then for a year, once a month. And they started me on Calquence.
Are you going down there to do that?
Yes, absolutely. I just feel, first of all, they diagnosed me. They did all the tests that proved to me that they knew what they were doing. And so I just feel more comfortable going there to have everything done because I know that they know what they're doing.
Right. I do know that they work a lot with UT Southwestern, so it could be that you could take your treatments here, if you needed to.
Right. Yeah. We talked about that, but I just told him at this time, I just feel more comfortable coming to him. I trust.
What's your doctor's name there, MD Anderson?
I see Dr. Jane.
Yeah, and Jane, he would know the differences because he also treats CLL patients.
Right.
Yeah, he works with Dr. Wang. Yeah, and so
is great.
Yeah, I'm happy that I'm able to get there. It's a 4-hour drive, like somebody else said they did a 4-hour drive. But I prefer to do that. I mean, it's my life and I just feel more comfortable.
After what you went through, that's understandable. Do you drive back one day or do you stay over?
We stay over.
Yeah, you're going through a lot of is.
We're in Dallas, Fort Worth.
I drove back and forth from Abilene and 7-hour drive.
Right, yeah.
You just
That's
do
a
it.
long drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
it's,
in down Fort Worth do you live?
we live in Crandall.
Okay.
I don't know if you know where that, Forney, Kaufman, that
Yeah,
area.
I live in Frisco.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so we're about the same distance to UT, but I had a really bad experience with UT. When they had me come in to do a bone marrow biopsy in office, they didn't give me an option. They just said we were going to do it in office. They asked me if I had taken the drugs to calm me down prior to it. I said nobody told me I was supposed to pick up any drugs. And the older nurse said she never bothered to pick them up. And then they hit a nerve and put me in the hospital for a week.
Oh, I always
So,
go to the.
Yeah, MD
always have-
Anderson. MD Anderson puts me to sleep when I was
me
getting bone marrow
too.
biopsy.
I
They
wasn't
give,
doing another one without.
gave me propofol.
What's that?
They gave me propofol, and I took a nap and woke up. It was over.
Exactly. Yep.
Judy,
Yep. That was the same way they did me. And then this last week, I went down and had upper and lower GI, and they biopsied about 10 polyps, and I think about more than half of them had mantle cell. So, yay me.
Oh, so Leslie,
before I forget, I'm in Palestine. I'm not too far from you.
Okay, where are you?
Oh, I'm right here. Hi, I'm with AnCan.
Oh,
Been off camera. I had dental work, so
Okay, I don't know where you are. Hi.
yep, I am here. No, I'm right by you. I'm in Palestine. I go to MD Anderson too, thyroid cancer. I've done the 4 hours, Rotary House, yay, love the parking. Cool.
Yeah.
maybe you can carpool together sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe, save gas, save time.
Right, right. Yeah, I know. My husband takes days off of work to take me because I don't drive.
Right.
So, yeah, and I don't really want to fly because, Jeremy. So,
And plus, I mean, there's no airport that's close to MD Anderson. You're still having to, IAH, you're still having to go through a lot of traffic. Hobby, you're still having to go through a lot of traffic. It's not easy no matter what. So,
right. Well, and then you gotta, if you fly, you gotta get in another stranger's car that you don't know
yeah,
who's been in there
no,
too. So,
it's not easy when you're from our neck of the woods trying to
right.
get there. No. So I
Yeah, but
understand. No, so
I'd walk if
I'm
I
not
had
far
to.
from you. So how cool is that?
Yeah.
Whole world.
Yeah, it's been an adventure. I've decided that it's an adventure that I'm not going to quit.
so Leslie, you're getting weekly infusions of rituximab, Rituxan, and then you go to monthly. And did you say you're getting a calibrutinib, or going to start that, or
Calquence?
Calquence? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
calibrutinib.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Alice something. Yeah. I can't pronounce it, so I say Calquence.
Are you on it now or you're going to start that?
I just spent 4 days getting it. So because it was going to be delivered tomorrow, but we'll be going to MD Anderson early tomorrow morning. I won't get it until Monday now. So
Just remember to drink lots of water with it.
yeah, I don't know anything about it. The doctor just said you need to take it 2 times a day.
Yeah, 12
So-
hours. I'm on it.
I'm telling you, lots of water helps you keep from having headaches and that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah,
And coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Well,
Something else with caffeine in it, but help with the headaches.
maybe your Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I don't drink that either. I drink water.
Well, so
Lots
in the
of water.
beginning, most people, not all, but most people get headaches for the first few weeks.
Okay.
And what doctors say to do is, take acetaminophen, Tylenol, and a cup of coffee. Or I guess you don't drink any caffeine, it sounds like. You drink
Yeah,
tea.
I guess I'll have to Dr. Pepper or something. What's
Dark
that?
chocolate, a lot of
Dark
caffeine.
chocolate. Yeah, I started being able to eat sugar again. I know I'm not supposed to eat a lot of it, but
Well, you can get
for
dark
about-
chocolate without
well,
much sugar.
The last 6 months, the old endocrinologist thought I had hypoglycemia, so he told me to stay away from anything with sugar at all. And I've been eating like a hermit almost, beans and beans and beans, and not a lot of carbs and not a lot of no sugar and tons of water. And the new endocrinologist said, he's nuts. There's nothing wrong with you. So now I can eat that dark chocolate.
Well, there's some dark chocolate without much sugar. The darker you go.
Right. Yeah.
Like I found
Get sugar free.
And did we lose someone or gain someone? I can never tell. Anyway, and this, I sent it to Sue Gagasino because it only has 3 ingredients, and I don't know if you can see it.
Right,
Salt,
yeah.
And it comes 70 and 90% cocoa, and it has
Right.
doesn't have much sugar, and it doesn't have much of anything, and it's pretty good.
Right.
It's interested. This is not an ad. I should probably buy shares in the company. I'm trying to see. It only has in it cocoa beans, organic cocoa beans, organic cocoa butter, sea salt. Sorry, I lied. I didn't count sea salt as an ingredient. It does have some raw cane sugar in it, but not much. Because
Right.
it only has, I can't really see. It's not many grams of sugar. But anyway, so, and then
Hold it up again.
Alter Ego, but I found others too.
Alter.
I always look at labels to make sure, because I'm lactose intolerant and soy lecithin bothers me and soy bothers me. So I try to get really clean. If I'm going to have chocolate, it's got to be clean and it's got to be dark. So,
Right.
what a great excuse. I never thought about that, Judy, to have chocolate.
It has lots of caffeine.
Yeah, that's hot chocolate I get. Does hot chocolate have caffeine in it?
I have to look it up. I'm probably, if it's made, you can even make your own from cocoa powder, right? So probably.
Right. Yeah, my stomach doesn't really like the coffee acid. My stomach hasn't been liking a lot of stuff lately, but now we know why.
Wow. I'm so sorry that they.
Have you ever tried rice, which is mushroom coffee?
No.
It's fantastic.
What's it called?
Mushroom coffee.
Rice, RYCE. It's ground up 6 kinds of mushrooms. I have more energy. I haven't had energy for 5 years. I started taking it about 2 weeks ago. I actually have energy again.
You too. Rice, RYC, and it's coffee. Does it have caffeine or not?
You can get it both with and without.
Huh.
I actually put it in hot chocolate as well, so I have sort of a mocha. And I love it. I drink it every morning.
That's interesting.
And the benefits of mushrooms are fantastic.
Yeah,
nutritionally.
It's RYZE, Rise Coffee, Mushroom
Right.
Coffee.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's right, RYZE, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
And mushrooms also supposedly help prevent cancer, right?
breast cancer, yeah.
So we got a supplement for Christmas from his son that's king or lion's mane mushrooms. Very familiar with those. Are those okay to take? Should we use them?
See. Oh, you're muted, Sally.
It's in rice. Yeah, they're one of the main mushrooms.
And
I
that's
think it's lion's mane, it's king, it's the one that starts with a C. There's 6 different ones.
Because that's supposed to be good for mental too, right?
It's good for mental, it's for energy, it's got B12 in it. It's one of the superfoods.
So does it
Okay.
taste like coffee?
Beg your pardon?
So does it taste like coffee?
A light coffee because it has some coffee in it, but I put it in hot chocolate. It's fabulous. And it comes caffeinated, and they also have it in tea. They have a tea as well.
Okay.
Okay.
I happen to like coffee, so.
And it's just like mushrooms, like mushrooms you'd eat. You don't need, it's not like hallucinogenic mushrooms.
No, unfortunately. And they're all powdered and all dry, so you don't have to cut them up and cook them.
Do you make
Okay.
do you make your own hot chocolate from scratch? I thought you were going to say yes.
I do. When I'm making a big pot of it, I'll make Mexican chocolate. I'll use Mexican chocolate. But if I'm doing something like this, or it's, 10 o'clock at night and I can't sleep and I want hot chocolate, I go get my Swiss Miss.
They make dark chocolate Swiss Miss. That's what I have.
It's good.
Yeah. Yes, it is good. The dark chocolate one.
All right, so Rise Coffee and Rise Tea.
Can I just say something? I'm on another support group for breast cancer, and they use a lot of that lion's mushroom, whatever the heck it is, the main mushroom. But in people with blood cancer, it slows down your clotting time. So they were talking, we had a big discussion about it. So that's
I
why I
asked
was.
my specialist about it. He says fine.
Really?
But I have MS.
I would ask the doctor before I took it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Check with your doctor or your Calquence pharmacist to make
Right.
sure. Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Because Calquence messes with your platelets.
Yeah.
For clotting.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. See, and I don't know any of this stuff. I'm just learning it. So
we can help you.
That's what I'm hoping for. All these groups that I'm joining in on are going to have some, big brother, big sister stuff going on for me. So, I know I'm pretty much close to a lot of y'all's age, but, mentally, you've got probably a lot on me for this type of stuff. So I don't know any of it. I'm just learning.
It's just because we've been dealing with it for some of us a long time and longer than others. So we're here for you.
I'm hoping I can say that too.
What is Dr. Jane saying?
He's not really too much. Just that I'm high risk. And I asked him about trials and he said, they don't have a trial for this. And he said, we can check into it if you want. That was all he said. But I have to really look him in the eye and say, you need to tell me. If
high risk doesn't mean you can't be treated.
Okay.
Because I'm high risk.
Okay.
And I'm high risk.
Okay. So to me, that tells me, well, we're going to try to make you feel better, but that's about all we can do for you.
It doesn't mean that. You shouldn't assume that. But it's so hard when you're you were just diagnosed with CLL and probably just learning about that. And then suddenly now they change it. So it just must be, I can't even imagine what you're going through. But high risk just means, they have to, when they treat you, they just have to make sure they're treating you the right way. And also it means different things in different blood cancers, but it doesn't mean you're not going to be here necessarily. It might mean, it means different things. It could mean you relapse more quickly. It could mean, but then they're finding new drugs like that. It doesn't matter if you're high risk or low risk. The same drugs are working now. Some of these newer drugs.
Yeah.
And
sometimes
I'm so sorry, Judy. Go ahead.
Sometimes they treat you like I'm on my third different treatment since 2015. So, it's thankfully when I first started, there was like one drug, ibrutinib was the only thing out there besides chemo. And now we have many different things to choose from. So everything's, they're getting new things all the time.
That's good. That's good. I told him, I said, whatever goes with me, because I have this weird thing, I said, you use me to help others that may come with this weird thing too. I said, because that's what this is all about, is, trying to figure stuff out.
Right.
So, he just said, we're just going to get you in remission. That's what we're going to do right now. And so that,
Great.
that gave me hope,
That means you can reach remission.
Right,
Yep.
right. Yeah. Well, my dad's whole family had CLL. My dad died from
Yep.
complications.
From what? Well,
Complications of CLL. He liked to garden, so he went out in his garden. He didn't wear gardening gloves. He got a fungus into his hand somehow. It went into his lungs and it ate a hole in his lungs, and they couldn't repair that because of the CLL. And I had an uncle that died from it as well, and I had an uncle that's still alive that had CLL, and he also had first cousin that's CLL. So it's really prevalent in my dad's family, and so that was hard for me to take because I thought, well, I have CLL, but then they do this, so I don't know. At first, I thought, well, maybe it's hereditary, but they say it's not. So I don't
very
know.
small percentage of people on the CLL, very small percentage.
Right.
It's in the single digits. However,
There are some families where you have multiple people. I have a brother and sister up in Canada that have participated in some of our calls. Both of them have CLL.
Right. Right.
I posted in the chat, I posted a place we stayed at, North Houston, called the Hope Cancer Retreat.
Okay.
A husband and wife run that. And so anyway, it's really for more of a longer stay. I think we've stayed there for 2 or 3 nights before. But my
Okay.
memory was we stayed there for about $25 a night, and it's got internet service, and there was a restaurant in the town of Splendora, several restaurants for eating. And
So that must be close to Houston then.
yeah, it's up Highway 59. Yeah, it's not as convenient as going and staying at the Rotary House, which is right there. You would just walk
Right.
across the sky bridge.
Right. Yeah, that's where we've been staying, just because of all the procedures I had done the last 2 times, and that first Roboxen, the infusion that I had was a 36 hours, so it was easier for my husband to just go across the street and go to bed than try to travel.
They do 38 hours.
They did it from Friday night at 12:30 till 12 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Well, 1 o'clock, I guess it came out to be. Yeah, they did it real slow, 25, because the first hour I had a reaction. And so they just left it slow and slow, and just to make sure that I could get it done.
That's what mine was like. Took 12 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
I never
I
took
just
that
hope the next one isn't that long.
Yeah. After the first one, then the next one's only take about 3 hours and you're done.
And well, they're figuring 11, but you didn't have any kind of reactions after you guys had your first ones. Good.
I never had any reaction ever.
Okay.
The first time I was sick. I got nausea and fever and shakes and so forth.
I got the shakes. That was the only thing that happened. The shakes, and I got kind of sick to my stomach, but those shakes, that was, yeah, you can't stop. The whole body just goes into almost a convulsion. So that was the part I didn't like, and they didn't have any blankets. The hospital was out of blankets all night long.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, so they just kept piling on sheets that they'd warmed up. I think I had at one time about 10 or 12 sheets on me because they were out of blankets. So if it's gonna go wrong, I'm the gal.
Oh, we lost Jerry. I just realized we lost Jerry here.
Yeah, Jerry left a while ago too.
Maybe he'll be back.
He
So
left 10 minutes ago. I put down the time.
So Leslie, we're here, there's, incurable sounds scary, except I think all of us here have different blood cancers and they're all incurable. But it doesn't mean they're not treatable.
Right.
And it is a horrible word. I wish they'd change that. I mean, chronic, I guess, is one of the ways of saying it.
Right. Yeah.
But somebody
Yeah.
told me chronic is like considered a bad word now to use, and there's a different word, except you can't escape it in CLL since it's in the name, right? But anyway, please, we're going to have other people now share what's going on with them, but please, please chime in and participate, or if you have questions as we're going along here. So thoughts are with you. Yeah, I must have missed that on CLL Sisters when you shared that.
Yeah, I have to apologize. I didn't mean to take up as much time as I did.
No.
Please move on. Please,
don't
please.
apologize at all. Please don't apologize.
Yeah, I don't see people during the day, so when I get to talk to anybody, I get excited.
Me too. Me too. Although today I saw my infusion nurse. I did see her, but that's about it. All right. So, Sally, you said you don't need time. Mary, how are you doing, Mary?
I had another bone marrow biopsy, and I was disappointed because this was my fourth, and this time I decided to get the sedation, and it still hurt. So I'll have to go for the total, go under next time. But what really got me was they didn't take out enough plasma cells to do the fish. And I would have liked to see that because they did it in a different spot on the other side compared to where they've done it before. And I've heard multiple myeloma can be different in different parts of your body. So that would have been interesting. And then the other thing going on,
take enough out when they did it?
I think this doctor was new. They just said the lab didn't have enough to work with. And okay, so on my second bone marrow biopsy 2 years ago, they couldn't do a fish test due to a tech making a mistake. So I figure 50% I'm not getting my fish. But anyhow, that's life. So my other issue now is I had an MRI of my back, and it shows that my vertebrae and my disc are pushing on that tube that has the spinal nerve in it. And so the physical, what is it? PMR, physical medicine rehab person has recommended I get a epidermal with a I forget now, a steroid. And so I went ahead and signed up for that, but then I left and I thought, multiple myeloma, I haven't really heard of that. I do hear about, what is that, Sally? They do that kind of cement or something.
Kaitrotsky.
Yes, so I think I'm going to shop around a little bit more.
Now, is this coming from your specialist?
No, I just went today to get the the results and the recommendation. Monday, I see my local oncologist.
Send a message to your specialist, please.
I'm going to do that too. Yep. So that's where I'm at.
Who did your bone marrow biopsies? Was it your specialist or?
No,
Oh,
the first 3 I had done at McLaren Hospital, and then I thought they were getting a little too rough, so my local oncologist said I should try Sparrow Hospital in Lansing, and that's what I did. But I am just confident that doctors didn't know what they were doing. I mean, they didn't. I don't think they had much experience.
well, that's no good. I've had
I would
4.
suggest you run all this stuff through your specialist rather than your local oncologist.
Yes.
Remember what we started with 3 years ago and what your local said versus the specialist?
Right. But I mean, yeah. Well, I'm going
I
to
think
do
it'll
it.
save you some anguish.
Right. So yeah, I'll check in with them both. I still have to go see the local guy, but yeah, I'll call the specialist office.
Maybe he can guide the local guy a little better
That's
as
what
to
he's
what
supposed to
to
be
do.
doing.
Well,
Yeah.
they are a good team. I could even ask my local guy to call my specialist, and I'm sure he would. But I'll call myself too.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Mary, are you having a lot of pain in your lower back?
I thought it was sciatica, and I would have these cramps going down my legs, pain going down my legs. Then I went for a sleep apnea test. They told me I have restless leg syndrome, and that's where the cramps are coming from. So I don't know what to do. One thing at a time.
Try alpha-lipoic acid.
What is
It
it?
helps with restless leg as well. It's a
Oh,
nerve
really?
stimulant. It's a nerve sheath calmer downer.
So the alpha lipoic acid, you get the Amazon brand. And someone did mention, I think, Trudy folic acid and B12. You do that as well?
I do B12. I don't. I think the folic's in my
Alpha
daily.
lipoic. Oh,
No, it's in my general everyday vitamins.
I take methylfolate. Is folic related to folate, or are they two different things? I think
they're two different things. I think they're reversible chemical stuff. I'd have to look it up.
Dr. Awan is the one who told me to do the two together. I'll have to ask him about that.
I have B12 and something I take.
My B12 and my folic acid are in my daily vitamins, my women's vitamins, the general vitamins. Yes, the list is about this long.
I have one of those too, but I need one that has more calcium in it now.
Eat Tums.
I came up with being osteoporosis instead of osteopenia this time.
You get enough calcium just eating 3 Tums a day.
I claim my calcium is very low. So, but 3 Tums a day, well, you had Salmeda, right? So you know what you need to take. Anyway, what that up. Mary Lou, what do you have to share with us?
I just have a quick question about the bone marrow biopsies. Because Dana-Farber does not give you sedation, conscious sedation for bone marrow biopsies. My first one I had under conscious sedation. But that was done locally. When I asked them, because I'm going to be having one after I do my chemo treatments, they said, oh, we don't do it under conscious sedation. We'll give you something, Ativan or something to relax you. Is that not true? Have you had one, Michelle?
I have never had conscious sedation because I go to Dana-Farber. They didn't offer anything the first time, and the nurse practitioner saw his size and saw my size and suggested they get one for me, and it was still brutal.
Yeah.
And I've had many. I've had several. I've lost count how many, and they never have given me conscious sedation. It's horrible. They've tried to convince me that it's because that it's all in my head, and I'm like, no, it's not in my head. It's down, you know, in my.
Yeah, exactly.
You're drilling, and I wanted to say, how would you like me to put a corkscrew in you and see how you?
Yeah. I mean, it's barbaric. Really, the procedure is barbaric.
So I heard that when you ask it, Dana-Farber, but it sounds like you did that. They will but you have to say, I want this. And I don't know if they call it twilight, conscious sedation. There's another one as well, right?
Those are the ones that I use.
General anesthesia. I don't know if there's another one. I know they numb you, but you can't numb bone.
After my first one that was so disastrous at City of Hope, I always had conscious sedation. When I came to Indianapolis, that meant I was going to have to drive all the way down into town, which is terrible, to go to the main hospital. And Dr. Abenor made me a bet. He said he would buy dinner if I could feel it when he did it in the office. It was better than the conscious sedation. I never felt a thing. He is excellent. So if you want to come here, he can do it in the office. You'll never know it.
So you didn't get dinner.
My last one was the only one that I felt like I was completely out. You know, I didn't, it was the best one. And it cost me an extra $250, but it's well worth it.
For conscious sedation you had? Yeah.
They give you the amnesia drug so you don't remember the nightmare of an experience.
Doesn't Medicare pay for it, Judy?
Medicare paid for my first one. I hate to tell you, it was $19,000 for the bone marrow biopsy. I was like shocked.
Medicare has paid for all 6 of mine.
But they pay for my bone marrow deal, but on anything that I have as an outpatient, I pay $250
copay.
deal.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
I've never been charged anything.
Really? Yeah. I'm going to call them and see, because, you know, we all are going through enough. We don't need that pain too, you know?
Right. Bärbel, have you had a bone marrow biopsy, Bärbel?
Yes, I did, but I only had local anesthesia and I had no issues.
Local meaning
During the procedure, I talked constantly to the doctor to keep my mind off. Maybe that helped, because if you concentrate on it, it's worse.
So they just put like a numbing agent, is what you mean, on your topically? Yep. Yeah, that did nothing for me. Well, maybe it did something, and it was just that much more. But
if they're skilled to do it, it doesn't hurt. But if they're not skilled, it can.
It hurts when they give the numbing stuff. So.
Yeah.
I think perhaps it also depends, and I think we discussed this last time, with either how thick and dredgy it is when they drill in, or because if it's thicker, it's harder, and that's usually when I believe that's usually when you have a higher infiltration of disease. So some that could help hurt more because they have to get through more, versus it being more liquidy, or I guess viscose would be the term. Good. So that's one thing. But also, I just think, I mean, this first guy who I know who gave me mine, he was like 6'4" and looked like he worked out, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinner then, and it's just like on the ceiling.
Or something on.
I'm sure it's all about technique too. The technique, everybody, yeah.
Sally just proved that with her doctor saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been excruciating for me every single time. So
yeah, I'm not looking for sedation, no matter what. Even if you ask for it, they won't give you sedation.
I asked. I said, could I have it under sedation? And he said, we don't do it that way.
You need.
So I'm going to ask again.
Yeah, you need to say I need to have
sedation.
I know other people who have had it at who have gotten it at Dana-Farber, and They've claimed that they've just said, I need conscious sedation.
Okay.
Well,
And-
UT does it where they just put you to sleep lightly. You
So
know,
what do
they
you-
Yeah,
give you
just when you have a colonoscopy, the same medication when you have a colonoscopy. And I don't know about anybody else, but I get to 99 and I'm out, so that's good.
Right. But-
Southwestern, I had it at the hospital.
I
they
think that
put me completely out at MD Anderson.
you are or not.
Last time at UT, at Clements.
Yeah, UT does they'll do the light sedation in the hospital where and in the doctor's office, just the lidocaine is all they do
Right.
there. But in the hospital, they gave me fentanyl, which when they
Yeah.
told me they were giving me fentanyl, I about had a heart attack. And they said, it's not the street kind.
Yeah.
It's medical kind.
Controlled.
Michael Jackson's not on the other end of it.
Yeah. The guy just laughed at me. And my husband was like, are you nuts? And I'm going to give you. But yeah, and then MD, I asked them about doing that, and they said, oh no, we put you completely out. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, which is good because that was the fourth one in less than 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Or
So yeah. Third one. So yeah, it was probably good they put me out because I might have fought that one.
At MD Anderson, they would put me out. My wife stood up for me and said, I was there when he was awake for it. It was horrible. Said he
Yeah.
needs to be put out. And they did. My doctor at MD Anderson, Dr. Philippe Samaniego, he asked for bilateral. That meant they did one on both sides of the hip. So every time I had one at MD Anderson, I got two. But I was put out to sleep. 15, 20 minutes later, it was over, and I was a little bit sore, but it was over with.
Yeah. Yep. No pain. It's so much better. So much better.
Yeah, that disappoints me about when I didn't know that was possible until groups like this and meeting other people that they can put you out. Bill, have you had a bone biopsy?
I've had two biopsies, maybe three. I'm not sure. The first time, it's funny though. Was about 2006, 7, when I was first diagnosed with SLS. And my son came to the appointment with me, and he was a freshman in medical school, I think. And so the doc said, "Oh, do you want to watch this?" And Ellie said, "Sure." And the doc started, you know how it sounds and everything like that. My son almost passed out. Yeah, he's been an emergency room physician now for about 12 years. But that experience watching his father get a bone marrow biopsy was too much for him at the time.
Really? Yeah, it's different because it's your father. Guess if you weren't related, huh? Wow. And how was it for you?
The first time I didn't like it at all. The second time I asked for sedation, it was better.
is there anybody else hearing all of this game noise?
Yeah. Sounds like a game or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep hearing like these like cute little kid noises.
Yeah.
I have no children.
No, I don't have any either.
I thought I was just losing my mind.
That's chemo brain.
Except we're all having the same thing at the same time, so I don't know about that. Mary Lou, how are you feeling?
Oh, I feel fine. Yeah, I feel fine. Thank you. I'm very grateful. Thank God I am. Yeah. I don't know how I'll feel when I start my chemo, but right now I feel fine.
Is it
Well, I
actually,
get to skip chemo for a week because I'm going to Italy.
Yeah, that's nice. I canceled my trip. I was supposed to go in April.
But it's really bad because he makes me take it literally the day before or the day I leave, and then I have to take it again the day I come back. So
that's what you have to do on this trip, the day you leave?
no, the last trip to Southeast Asia was the day I left, and I got on. I had my infusion until an hour before I had to be at the airport.
Oh,
And
wow.
then with what I'm on, I can tell you to the hour when I'm going to have rampant diarrhea in 3 days.
And what do you take?
Kyprolis and Venaclex.
Okay.
So that's why we're not doing it this week, because I don't want to be on the plane. And like I said, we have a 6.5 hour layover in Detroit.
Yeah.
And
So
then
anyway,
where do you fly to from Detroit?
Paris,
And then from Paris?
Naples.
Oh my God, that's a lot of stops.
Yeah, it is.
And then from Naples, are you driving somewhere?
Yeah, we're taking a land tour up all the way to Venice.
Wow.
Oh,
Amalfi, Rome, Florence, Tuscany, Umbria,
Hmm.
Pompeii, Herculaneum, the Vatican. I'm really
Nice.
excited.
yeah, that's a good tour.
I'm looking for the food. My girlfriend I'm going with wants to see all the art in Florence. So we're a good team. I'm doing all the research on all the restaurants that we can go to, and you know, we're going to do the last night in Venice when we have a free evening. We're going to a candlelight concert in one of the big old domy buildings. It's a circular candlelight concert of Coldplay done with a string quartet.
Wow.
That sounds fabulous.
I think it sounded wonderful. She thinks it's silly, but okay.
I have a question for Sally. Sally, how do you keep up with all this? When I get home from Costco, I'm done for the day.
I'm done. And when I was in Southeast Asia, one day I walked 7,800 steps. And up until that, for the last 6 years, the most steps I'd ever done was 5,000. I just keep going.
Good for you.
And then I die at night.
Yeah, but I saw a picture of you. You were out at night. So like, you don't mean like, you mean like later at night?
I mean, I go to bed at 9 o'clock every night. This is why this meeting is I do it.
It's got to be that mushroom coffee.
No.
It's a mushroom coffee, right?
Are
But
you,
that really has helped.
Or the gummies.
But like, I had my infusion on Wednesday and I was up until 4 o'clock in the morning last night, whatever day today is. I mean, I was exhausted when I woke up this morning. Took a nap from 2 to 4.
are you still walking 7,800 steps a day?
Oh, hell no. I'm lucky I walk around the yard with a gardener. My sister comes over and says, come on, let's go for a walk. And I say, no. And she goes, you have to get out and walk. And I said, Barbara, I have done 2,800 steps today and it's only 11 o'clock. So I will get enough steps in today.
So you do. You get in lots of steps.
Yeah, I do. I walk around the house a lot. And I cook. So
I've started dancing while I'm cooking, putting on like fun music to get my steps in. The neighbors probably think I'm a kook. If they were ever to see in the window, you know.
Well, they already think that, so there's no more problem.
True that.
Now, do you do your dancing in heels?
Cute. I try not to do that when I'm in the house. Out of the house, yes, absolutely. Never without.
I wear one pair of shoes because it's the only ones that are really, really comfortable. I have a closet full of shoes. Never wear them.
But they're nice to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you used to wear them.
Oh, yeah. I went through a year where I couldn't walk at all. So I'm very happy. I still have my scooter in the garage and my walkers and my canes and all that. So I'm very, very happy I can do 2,800 steps before noon.
Oh, that's a lot more than I do before noon. That's very good.
Haven't done
But
many
my problem
today.
is not the walking as much as my stamina. My stamina is really bad. I take a shower and I come out panting.
Well, that's
Only
kind
had
of
2,000.
Al was asking. Like, I have times like that too, when I'm just like cooked.
Yeah, you change clothes and you can't believe why you're so tired.
And yet here you're going, you're world traveling.
I
And-
figured if I don't make any further than this, I'm going to do what I want to do now. You know, I have no children. My nieces and nephews don't need the money I've got. They're all probably chomping at the bits, wondering why I'm spending all this money. I don't care. So they're in denial that I'm even sick. So.
Yeah. Anyone else's family like that, or friends?
It's my family is worse. My friends understand more than they do. And, you know, I gave up trying to tell them. They've not once come to an appointment with me. I've asked them to come to seminars with me. I've asked them to look at videos with me. Don't want anything to do with it. So.
I think that's the hardest thing because they say, you don't look sick.
Right.
Yeah.
And I cook and if they ask me to do something, I do it, So I just give up.
It's tough. I know.
You're still here 5 or 10 years later. Well, it must have been a mistake. It must not have been cancer.
Right. Well, the thing is they didn't read all the stuff that I read when I first was diagnosed, that I had a possible 3-year lifespan. That was 6 years ago. So
Thank you for that.
Thank God for that. Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I read it. Yeah, but that's what it was in 2018. Multiple myeloma. Basically 3 months to 3 years.
Right. Yeah.
But they well too.
And there's been so much discovery since, and treatments.
2010, yeah. 2010, 2011 was when all this stuff started.
And it just keeps on coming.
Oh, the bispecifics and the CAR-Ts and they're doing CAR-Ts now for other diseases than multiple myeloma. So.
In the
In a
engagers.
clinical trial, if anybody has a chance to get into a clinical trial, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leslie, and you're at the right place if there are any, but go through this treatment of care. If there's anywhere where they're going to know about clinical trials, it's where you are.
Right.
MD Anderson is great.
Right.
Yep. Another good reason to be there. Yeah, family is tough. A lot of people say this about family and friends. Either turning a deaf ear to it or not wanting to know. And that is hard.
I've never had one family member act as a caregiver. It's all been friends.
And you seem like very much of a caregiver, Sally.
My husband had cancer.
Doesn't he have one now as well?
No, he had penile cancer. He died in 103 days from diagnosis.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yep. It was ugly. But I got through it. That was 22 years ago and I still miss him, so.
Oh.
I'm going to be 79 years old tomorrow. And on my 80th birthday next year, another girlfriend and I are going to take a private plane around the world.
Wow.
Oh.
Well, happy birthday tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're
It's my
welcome.
real birthday. My stem cell transplant birthday was last weekend.
All these birthdays.
You got a twofer.
Well, I had my stem cell transplant at 75. And everybody's saying, oh, you can't have a stem cell transplant over 60.
Thank you for that. I needed to hear that as well.
And I did it on my own with 5 friends that rotated through as an outpatient.
Wow.
So. And I had absolutely no problems with my stem cell transplant. I was bored to tears. I mean, it was a great time for my girlfriends and I to, just sit around and talk and shoot the shit, and I never lost my appetite. I never lost weight. I did
Was
have
it
diarrhea, but that's
Sally,
it.
was it an auto? Was it an auto or yeah. So it's your own cells going back into your body.
Autologous, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So no chance of rejection there.
No.
Yeah.
So, Mary Lou, before we move on, when are you starting treatment? Do you know?
I'm supposed to be starting it in a couple weeks locally.
And what is it are you getting?
Decitabine. It's a hypomethylating agent. So it's I have 5% blast. They want it under 5% because they're entering me into a clinical trial, and in order to be entered into it, it has to be under 5%. So
Oh, okay. And what's
the clinical trial is, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, to be honest with you. It's a double blind study, which means they don't know if I'm getting it, and I won't know if I'm getting it. So
But can I say something on a clinical trial? They will never put you on something that they don't already know works if you're not in the test subject. You will be, I mean, let's say you got the test drug, which is A, and they will put you on C, which is already proven to work. And they're testing it against the balance of A. So they will never put you on something that doesn't work.
Okay. This is a drug they currently use. It's to prevent graft versus host disease. And they currently use this drug now, but you only get 3 injections of it. And this trial is giving you 8 injections of it. So I haven't signed any papers yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I hate to tell you this, guys, but it's 9:30 and it's half an hour past my bedtime. I'm going to bed. And my cat is eating my toes.
Who else needs to speak that hasn't spoken yet? Bärbel?
Bärbel, yeah.
Well, my problem is still the COVID. My hair is thinning, but it's coming back. So, and also I still have skin issues. I have these little blisters that look like chicken pox, but not many anymore. It's getting better, but I really wonder why I get these funny little bumps with liquid in them. This is unbelievable, and it doesn't heal very well either. It takes a long time. I mean, I've been having this now for maybe 2 months, but it's getting better. I don't have that many anymore, but it really takes a long time. Everybody says 4 to 6 months, so I'm on month 4. So I still have 2 months to go to recover completely, I guess.
I've never
shingles,
and they said this happens to some people.
Yes, there's an article that you can have different kinds of rashes, and one kind is that one that looks like chicken pox. But I had chicken pox, I had shingles, I had all this. So it must be from the COVID.
so it's not painful, like.
No, it's not painful.
That's
it
good.
was a bit itchy in the beginning, but it looks a bit funny. You have these little bumps with liquid in them. You think, what is this now? But what I don't like is that it doesn't heal very well. It's very deep. It's very deep. It has to do with this virus. Maybe the B cells are not working correctly in the skin. So that's what I also think, because there are B cells in the skin, and I think they have an issue with these COVID remainders.
Is there any kind of topical that can help with those?
Well, I've been taking some cream with cortisone in it, very light cortisone, but it helps a little to heal, but doesn't go away. It just takes time, I guess. And I still have a funny cough, this 100-day cough, they call it. It's not always there. It always in the evenings it comes.
I've had that for. I'm in a study regarding it's a study at Dana-Farber. I offered to do it when I was diagnosed with COVID. I mean, I was at their mercy too, right? But the infectious disease department was doing a study on prolonged and protracted COVID, the differences. But they did ask me, I just met with them yesterday. It's my last time they had to swab me and, do the all the tests for it. And so, and the questions they do ask about rash, do you have lingering rash, like all the things you're talking about, and so many more. There are like 20 different questions for all the different things that they are seeing. And I asked, so how many, what percentage of people have this and this and this? And they're like, well, we can't tell you that because, of course, they haven't released the study. The results aren't in. And I said, well, will you share it? Because there's so many people who have the different, side effects. I mean, not side effects, but prolonged effects. Bärbel, would that mean you have prolonged COVID to have these side effects or not?
Long COVID, it has to do with when you have a terrible fatigue. I don't have fatigue that much. I'm still a bit weak, but well, it takes time to recover. I mean, I was bedridden for a long time, and then I guess the strength has to come back slowly. But I don't think I have long COVID. It's not that long yet. I mean, I have no other issues. I have no fever, or I don't have a cold really. It's just this funny cough. But it shows that something's not right yet. No, we'll see. I have my next checkup in April, so we'll see what they say.
And that's a checkup for CLL or for COVID?
That's actually for CLL, but well, I don't have any issues with CLL at the moment. It's just that COVID that makes me really angry. And what I'm really afraid of is I only had it once, but when you have it more, then sometimes I have a feeling that it can linger in immune compromised. You don't get rid of it completely. And but it looks like I'm getting rid of it. It just takes time. Probably has to do with age.
I'll never say the 3-letter word.
Everybody's aging, it's not just me.
It's true. It is true. Well, Bärbel, please keep me posted on that. I'm very curious. And also I had a cough at night for a while too. And now I'm sleeping on 2 pillows and it's helping. Take care, Leslie. Best wishes.
Good night, y'all. Thank you.
Good night, Leslie.
Good night. Bye, Jim.
And I will, the study won't be released yet that I was part of, but I'll make sure that I if they ever release a copy of the results, I'll send you a copy.
They're doing other studies somewhere else too. At my clinic, they have a special unit for COVID now, which investigates too. So there are many clinics who look into COVID, especially regarding long COVID.
Yeah, because they're just starting to learn about it.
Yep.
So I'm glad your CLL is so good. I'm just trying to see who else needed time here. Lynn, did you need time tonight?
Just a short one. I'm about 2 weeks from completing 1 year on my drug holiday, and I will see Dr. Juan next week and the blood work, and I'm not expecting anything but for him to say, keep on doing what you're doing. I'm doing all right here. So that's pretty much it.
That's I hope you still get to have your drug holiday.
I am enjoying it. The fingernails are so much stronger. I just completed a CLL Society survey that they're doing on people that have discontinued BTK inhibitors for a reason other than disease progression. So a lot of interesting questions to answer there. But I really like the fact the fingernails are stronger. I'm not having cramps. and various muscles, and the sore muscles and joints and all that. And I think probably have a little more energy too. So all those are nice to enjoy on a drug holiday. And hopefully those that have, with Judy on pirtobrutinib and Bill, I believe, getting ready to start it, hopefully those will even have less side effects.
How is your lung?
I will go see the lung doctor a week next month in April. And the last visit, and this was the reason we stopped the cancer drug I was on, was the idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, to see if I did better by being off of my cancer medicine. And I have done better. I'm on a drug for the pulmonary fibrosis called Esbriet. And the last checkup, the doctor said my lungs had improved. So that was good news. And hopefully we can just kind of hold things where they are and not have any more progression. I do sleep with oxygen at night. I've been doing that for about 5 years. Just because at night when I'm asleep, my O2 level would tend to drop below 90%. So I didn't have any other thing other than just the test results, no headaches or anything like that.
Well, you know, I found I felt so much better when I got off of ibrutinib. But it took a while, you know, and I think it also took me a while for it to register maybe.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah, I'm hoping in another year or two that my hair will be like yours, you know, full and everywhere.
Mine hasn't gotten back to how it was, but obinutuzumab did another number on it and thinning it out. Well, there you go. You're growing more hair back in, Lynn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one more year.
Mine is something after losing it from chemo. All of my chemo, and it's family and very thin.
Yeah. Viruses can do that too, as you can see. It is thinning, but it's coming back.
On the ibrutinib, my hair got real frizzy and wild. It just went everywhere. It just, and my eyebrows started growing upwards. You know, they're arching up my face.
You're supposed to do a comb up as opposed to a comb over, Lynn.
Look, I looked like something out of a Halloween movie or something.
Well, I see your hair growing back. You have sprigs up there coming in. Lots of them you can eventually, like you said, it'll be like the rest of ours.
Yep.
Well, good luck in 2 weeks. You can like let us know. Will you be posting how you do?
It'll be on Tuesday. I'll see the doctor on Tuesday.
Next week?
I'll make a point to post, give an update.
Okay. On Tuesday. Okay.
It'll be pretty anticlimactic. It's just gonna, you know, blood work, and 45 minutes later, I'll be in the doctor's office getting the results. At least that's what I hope for. At least that's what I hope for.
Well, I wish you luck. May the no surprising results spirits be with you. And Jim, you wanted some time tonight.
Well, speaking about a drug holiday, I was on treatment for 5 years, medically castrated, no testosterone in the body. And so I've been on a treatment holiday 21 months, and the testosterone started to recover at about month 13. It would go up, it would go down, it would go up, it would go down, and then it started to climb. And this month it was up to 273, and apparently in a man 200 is considered to be I believe, castrate. So the catch is, unfortunately, the little devils are starting to arouse themselves. So I figure in about another 3 to 4 months, or maybe 5 months, I will have to return to the treatment. In other words, the drugs that will medically castrate me.
With the Lupron?
Yes. It is a Lupron plus, okay, a second level anti-androgen, which will shut down testosterone from the adrenal glands, because that's how come you folks have it, adrenal glands. So anyway, it isn't bad. So I'll just continue on, and I will get returning to hot flashes. You know them well, don't you? I have enjoyed them for a number of years. So.
I have never had the hot flashes with it.
Oh yeah.
You're
Oh wow.
You're lucky,
Other
Judy.
than that, life is good.
So you'll have to go back on a blocker. Is that what it'll be, Jim?
Actually, the one I'm on, essentially, the thing will block the production of the testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, though, the little devils are smart and they learn how to then generate their own food. And then I happen to graduate into a thing called castration resistant disease. So at that point, there are drugs, other drugs, which will do things, and probably chemo at that point, and other drugs and other types of things. So I'm still in probably inning, I'd say 4, okay, of the game. And I'm just about to turn 80, so
You're
that's
kidding.
not bad. No.
I would never have guessed that.
Mhm.
Yep.
You look great.
Well, so far I'm active, and also I happen to run and with the veterans support group here. So
How is that going? Do you have
that
many?
has been going rather well. Rather well. I have been helping out a lot of veterans. I'm a veteran, you know, so that has been really well. I've got probably in the last 3 months helped like 8 or 9 apply for their stuff, because a veteran can get worth 100%. Today, it's in the neighborhood of about $49,000 a year. Okay, out of the VA. Okay,
Wow.
and the treatments too.
Yeah, my dad got $3,000 a month.
Well, it's up now. It's up a lot higher now.
This was 18, so
Yeah. Yeah, it's been climbing out. I think the 100% now is up to married is 3,972.
well, he wasn't married. He was alone.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's about 3,700.
A little over 3,000.
Is that across the board, or is that dependent on what you made in the military?
No,
No, it's
it
just
has got nothing to do with that at all. It's a flat, 10, 20, 30, 40, upwards of 100. But then for the folks who have lost a leg or an arm or something like that, there is a different scale that starts at about around 40,000 a year, and it goes up to 110.
Well, the other thing, Michelle, is you can't have any money.
Right?
What?
When I applied for my dad, he couldn't have any savings or whatever.
He
In
didn't
order to
have,
get that, you mean?
Yeah, I had to put all of this money into in our names.
well, that was probably because he wasn't rated for certain items. And that's the thing I do, is to help them rate. And then also a very interesting thing is there is another thing, especially with us who have been medically castrated. Did you know that the VA has determined Al's and mine and Lynn's value in the bedroom? And if you cannot perform anymore, it's called loss of use of creative organ. And there is a dollar value associated with that. $132.74 a month extra. The government says that's what we're worth. So every time that you see a good-looking guy, say, is he worth $132 a month? So anyway, but it has been going extremely well. I'll probably expand it to 2 times a month. Okay, AnCan wise. So
That's that's wonderful.
it's interesting. Yes, it is.
People are that you're getting there's a great need for it. So I think that's great.
Absolutely.
Just to fill you in real quick, if any of you know any veterans out there that need any support, get them in this group. I had a friend come over and sit in. It took me a while to talk her into it, but Jim is an encyclopedia to vets. What do you say? All the benefits that are out there for them. So yeah,
Okay,
please.
all of the benefits plus then how to service connect a problem you had. You know, I strained my hip or something. How can you then tie that to your service? And if you can get money for it.
So
and it isn't that hard.
So if any of you have veterans in your lives, friends, spouses, family, kids,
anyone,
very helpful. Jim, you're doing
the benefits are really great. Anyway, okay.
Thank you.
Life is good otherwise.
Well, I look forward to seeing you all in a month's time on, hold on, I'll tell you the date. You never know what you're going to learn in this group. That is for sure. On April 4th is our next meeting. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Please spread the word and take care. Good luck, Lynn, on your appointment and everyone else's.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night, everyone.
Night.